Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another edition of Triple Rider. It is way too early on a Saturday morning, and had an early business meeting with my business partner, which I don't do so well with early mornings, so I'm barely functioning. Just stopped and had a quick little coffee at 7-Eleven, and now we're on the way to take this girl to get her 20,000 kilometer service done. Just tipped over 20,000 over the Golden Week holiday, and now I'm going to take her down to Akabanebashi to the Triumph shop to get her maintenance done. Where's that guy going? Where are you going, dude? So, this video is going to be about my feedback on the 2015 Street Triple R after a little over my 2.5 years of ownership and 20,000 kilometers. So in August 2015, I ordered this girl. Picked her up at the end of September 2015 and been happily riding ever since. Let's see, during that time, so in the 2.5 years, she's had oil changes, she's had a new set of tires, brakes front and rear done. Of course, I did a chain maintenance in there somewhere too when I got the tires. And pretty much as far as like mechanical maintenance, taking care of the bike, besides regular, washing and TLC, things like that, pretty much that's the tires, the brakes, the oil changes. That's been the extent of the work that I've had done on the bike, aside from my own like personal electrical modifications for like USB ports, things like that. I think there was one incident I had pretty early on that really was kind of unavoidable. My rear tire got a hole in it like a month after I had the bike, maybe 2 months, something like that. And the hole was caused by some type of nail. I mean, I don't know where it came from. It just, when I took it to the shop, they found the nail embedded in the tire, and they pulled it out and they patched the hole, and all was good. Didn't have any problems with the patch at all until, pretty much it stayed there until I got the new tires put in back in January. So in the course of the riding time I've had, in those 20,000 kilometers, we've done a lot of city riding, we've done country riding, a little bit off-road unintentionally. And it's really been no problem. I mean, I really can't complain. There's just really nothing that happened. Gas mileage is pretty good. Bike never left me stranded. Never had any problems with, mechanical wise. Pretty much, I got from point A to point B all the time. The only new thing that I just noticed recently, that I'm not even sure why it's happening, but on a cold idle. So on the Street Triple, and I'm guessing other bikes do the same thing, but usually on a cold startup, the bike will idle a little bit higher, and that was normal. It had been doing that, no problem. But after you take off, at least recently, it would idle down a little bit too low to the point where it cut off. Like I would leave my house, get to the first stoplight, and as I idle down to stop at the light, the engine would cut off. and it would do that for like just a few minutes. Like if I do 2-3 stops in a short time while the engine was still kind of cold, then it would shut off. But once the engine warms up, the idle seems fine. It still idles right around I think it's right around 1,000. But I was watching the RPM gauge just bounce down there around 500, and it would just die. And it'd start right back up. No issues there. So I'm gonna tell that to the shop guys when I go in and talk to them today, and just say, hey, you know, I noticed this new thing popped up recently. I mean, it really has been new. It really wasn't doing it before. Just in the past few weeks, I've noticed in the mornings and when I get going after it's been sitting after a cool down, you know, I've noticed it happening. So today she's gonna have her full 20,000 kilometer service, oil change, chain service, and whatever else is on their checklist for the service. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to tell them about the idle issue I noticed recently, and see what they can do, or see if there's anything they can do. Everything else in the bike is original, besides the customized parts that I've done on it. I got rid of the stock mirrors, couldn't stand those. You can go back and watch one of my videos called Meet Jessica. That's the overview of pretty much the bike itself and what I had done to it. But this is the first Triumph I've owned. Long time ago. I started out riding Hondas, and I pretty much had been on Hondas for all the time that I had ridden in the past. Starting from like little dirt bikes when I was a kid. One of my best friends from elementary school, you know, him and his brother had some dirt bikes. Yeah, they actually had one 400cc Honda, I think. So we all took turns riding those. And that's where I first got my first real experience in riding on the dirt. Then after that, it was just the kind of, you know, random. I think there was one Kawasaki in there somewhere, but it wasn't mine. It was someone a friend of mine. And since I've been in Japan, I've been riding this Triumph. I didn't have a bike for a while when I first moved here. I just didn't think about it really. I bought a house and then bought a car first, and I said, oh hey, let's get a bike because it's probably going to be more fun and easier. And of course now I'm slapping myself because like the first few years I didn't bother with it, so kind of regret that. But I've been riding the Triumph for my own bike, and then I've borrowed and ridden other bikes. Let's see, another Honda, another BMW. What else have I ridden here? I can't think of, mostly Honda and BMW, I guess. I can't think of any other ones I've ridden offhand, but anyway. I'm still planning to get a second bike, and I was planning that to be a BMW. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. That's still not in debate. There's no debate. I'm going to do it. I just was trying to decide which bike I want to get. So I'm still pretty much heavily set on the BMW, but we'll see. But all around, the Street Triple has been a pretty awesome bike. The 675cc engine and the over power band is great for both city riding and for the country riding, because I ride this to work, and I do it not just to work, but I use it for a lot of errands and going out around the city. I put a lot of city miles on this bike, and I could probably do that with a smaller bike, but I actually enjoy having the flexibility of having the 675 for using the highway, and also you know, the random country road riding. So I don't think I would be happy with anything less than a 600. That's this bike is mainly for long distance travel. I do think the 675 can hold its own on the highway, but I think that it can, I think it's the upper, I should say the power band, once you get to the upper speeds and upper RPMs, isn't really all that flexible. You're gonna have to really push it harder to get up to higher speeds. So I'm going to go with the one step up with the next bike and just alternate between the two. I'd like to also mention that the bike's profile is pretty good for lane splitting and general city driving as well. No problem parking and no problem lane splitting and getting around the highway. So I think this is a really good bike for a combination of both city and country riding. A good friend of mine asked me again the other day, he said, why not Japanese? Why not get your second bike to be a Japanese bike? I said, well, I don't know. I guess I'm just attracted to the foreign brands here a little easier than the Japanese. I don't know. Maybe I should go ride some just to double check, which isn't a bad idea. Taking a second look. I mean, when I was looking at getting the bikes the first time, I really only paid attention to the 600, 700 classes of engine. I didn't really look at the upper levels because I really didn't want to buy a liter bike as a first bike in Japan. So to be fair, I really didn't even consider them. But I should probably go try them just to make sure that what I'm really happy with. So there's no regrets. No, Golden Week was last week. Why are so many people out on the road this early on a Saturday morning? I've seen this stretch of road dead at 10 o'clock in the morning, not like this. We're not too far from the exit to get off here to go to the bike shop. So I'm gonna start to wrap this up. But I think that now the models have changed since I bought this bike. They now have the Street Triple RS. Wait, they have the RS and the R maybe? They have 3 different Street Triple models now. And I've ridden the RS. The RS, I really liked it. I just, I'm not sure that I liked it enough to trade it in. I really, when I first rode it, I was like, this is really nice. I really love the throttle control. It's nice and smooth with the electronic throttle and the riding control and all those extra bells and whistles, which is useful to a certain extent, but it's not necessary. And that's kind of what my thought is that extra, you know, just to upgrade this bike to that one. I think I'm happy just keeping this one the way it is, and I'm still gonna get the second bike, of course, but I just don't see the immediate value to swap them. To swap this Street Triple for the new one. And on top of that, the other thing that bothered me was that they don't offer the new Street Triple in white, at least not yet. They only have the black and metallic gray or whatever it is now. I'm really partial to the white with the Street Triple. This crystal white, I've really liked it. The new bike, the BMW or whatever I get after that, I was planning to be a darker color, just to have the contrast of having one white and one black or something darker. Of course, my other friend said, you know, when he was mentioning about the Japanese bike, so we'll just get a second Street Triple. I said, what's the point of that? That's not variety. That's just duplication. Jeez, fucking traffic, man. Alright, come up on our exit here, 300 meters to Shiba Koen. early, aren't I? What time is it? Oh, not too bad. Appointment's at 10 o'clock. Wow. Did I really get lucky? This light normally takes forever. I got lucky. Holy shit. Excuse me. Alright guys, we're arriving now basically, so I just wanted to say Street Triple, great bike. Been really happy with her. There's second gear. And if you're looking for a moderate bike, I still don't think you can go wrong with either this year or the newer year. So I pretty much recommend it. I hope they're even here because I'm kind of early. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That wasn't exactly the most ideal overview, but point is 20,000 kilometers trouble free, no maintenance issues. You can call me a satisfied customer. So with that, Tokyo Tower and I will bid you a farewell until the next one. Bye-bye.